Okay, so we're going to talk about setting the standard, leading by example. This is going to go both for first responders. This can probably be tied into like your personal business for like customers, but it's mainly going to be a leadership call. Obviously, it's a leadership call. So this is mostly going to be about leading by example, leading your team by example, and like setting the standard for what you want your team to do. Like, this is what we do, establishing the culture of your team, just leading by example and showing the way is what this is going to be about. But you can carry this into personal aspects of your business as well. So first thing we're going to talk about is walking the walk. So are you walking the walk, or are you just talking the talk? Are you telling your team to do this and that, but you're not doing it yourself? That is the most toxic thing you can do as a leader. When my husband was in the Army, he would always talk about toxic leadership. So if any of you are military, you probably know there's a lot of that. It's a lot of, well, you need to be doing this and that, but they're not doing it correctly. You know, their uniform isn't right, but they're telling you your uniform needs to be right. Their hair isn't cut right, but they're telling you, or they're telling you that your hair is supposed to be cut a certain way, but that's not in the regulations. It was just made up. It was just whatever. So there's a lot of that, a lot of toxic leadership. But in my opinion, if you are walking the walk, or if you are only talking the talk and you're not walking the walk, that's toxic leadership. Hey, Tristine. Thank y'all for being on after I forgot to share this new link. Sorry about that. So how are you working? What are you doing behind the scenes that nobody else sees? These are the things that matter. The things you're doing behind the scenes when nobody else is looking are the things that matter. Are you following up with your customers? Are you taking care of your customers? Are you recognizing your team? Are you talking to your team, connecting with them in some way? Let me mute everybody. Hold
on. She said they intended to share some late night moments. Some straw.
I thought I had muted all, but apparently not. Okay. Okay, sorry, my volume isn't turned up, so I didn't know that somebody was unmuted. Okay, hold on. Apparently I have. So what are you doing behind the scenes? The things that nobody sees. Let's see, what else? Partying. Are you having the conversations to book parties? Are you having Cincy Club conversations? Are you telling people about Cincy Club when you're following up with them, asking them if they like their new LTO scent that they ordered? Are you asking people if they've thought about joining? Are you having those join conversations? Are you having 30 join conversations a month? Are you doing 2,000 PRV minimum a month? 500 PRV is not, that's not our minimum in this group. That is the minimum to get paid as a leader. That's not our minimum. We should not, as leaders, be doing 500 PRV a month. That is insanity. I'm sorry, it is. It shouldn't. Just don't do it. 500 PRV is too easy. Like, you should be able to do 500 PRV by the 10th at the absolute latest if you're a leader. So if you're doing the correct things in your business, the correct income producing activities that you're expecting your team to do, you should be able to do 500 PRV. I have 500 PRV by the 5th every month. My goal is 2,000 PRV by the 15th every month. This month has been a little different. I haven't done any parties. I haven't done any of that. I chose that because, like I said, this month is insane for me and I can do that. So I still will hit 3,000 PRV at the end of this month. But my minimum goal is typically 4,000 PRV, because back before Cincy Club existed, my PRV goal was 2,000 PRV a month. But now we have Cincy Club, and I have worked my booty off to build a subscriber base of 60 plus people to where 1,200 PRV a month is coming from Cincy Club alone. So why in the world would I only set my goal at 2,000 PRV? So my minimum goal is 4,000, but my point is 500 PRV is too easy if you are doing the right activities in your business. If you're networking, if you're meeting new people every single week, if you are partying, if you are having join conversations 30 a month, there's no reason why you can't do 2,000 PRV a month. It's Like I would have to try to not do 2,000 PRV a month. So don't make that your minimum. We don't do 500 minimum in this group. It's just, you can never expect your team to do 2,000 PRV a month if you're not doing it. That's the point behind all of this. If you're not doing 2,000 PRV a month, you cannot expect any of your team or your leaders to do 2,000 PRV a month. So lead by example, show them what needs to be done. Show them how you're working. So this is what we do in our group. We share how we're working. We share the how I'm working hashtag. It's a whole thing. It's been a thing for like 2 years now. We show how we're working. We don't just do the things behind the scenes that nobody sees. We screenshot that. We share our conversations. Y'all see me do that all the time. And so many of you do that all the time on my team page. And I appreciate y'all so much for contributing to that, because obviously I can't do that on my own. But this is the kind of culture that you want to create for your team and your team page. And if you're on this page, if you're on this call right now, if you're a leader above, you must have a team Facebook page of your own. You need to have one already. If you don't, set one up today. It is so important. No, there's not going to be much interaction on it at first. No, there's not going to be much, contribution on it at first. No, you're not going to have people willing to go on and go live and share this and that at first. You will with consistency. You will when you are the one showing up and doing those things, and you're asking people to do those things to help you out and help your team out on your page. It's not a you show. My team page is not a Morgan McGee show. Our leadership page is not the Morgan McGee show. Morgan McGee is one person, and Morgan McGee has a life, and she has a family, and she has a personal business, and she has all these things. That is why we all have to work together to contribute to our team page. And your teams will do that. They will follow when you're leading by example, showing them how things are done and asking them. Don't expect them to just automatically share things and automatically do this and that, or be willing to pop on and show what they're doing with their customer mail outs. They're not going to do that voluntarily. You have to ask them to do those things. You have to train them on how your community is ran, and show them what you do and tell them the expectations and encourage them by saying, you're killing it on your sales this month. Please share on our team page what you did. So, and that doesn't come with, if you're not communicating with your team or you're not reaching out to your frontline and your downline, how can you ask them these things? How can you even know what they did in their business this month? When I reach out to my top sales, I'm like, hey, you freaking killed it. What did you do? Like, if it was somebody that normally does like 500 PRV and they did like 2,000, I'm asking them, what did you do differently last month? And then they tell me, and I'll say, will you please share that on our team page? Because that's going to help everybody else out. Somebody will get so much value from that. They need to know that. They're not going to believe in themselves until you ask them to do that. So, half of you probably don't believe in yourself enough to do it. So if you didn't have somebody like me or your director reaching out to you saying, you are insanely awesome, can you please share this? You would still be iffy about sharing things. So are you a lifer leader? Some of you may have heard this before. Are you a Cincy lifer? For those of you who cannot understand my Southern accent, lifer. Are you in this for life? Are you a lifer leader or are you a seasonal leader? And we don't do seasonal leadership around here. If you're a seasonal leader, you might as well not be a leader. You might as well take a non-leadership role, which you can do. If you find that you're only working 3 months out of the year and leading your team 3 months out of the year, and the rest of the year they're just the roof showing, I know it. If you are just, leaving your team out to dry 8 months out of the year, and then you decide you want to work during the holiday season, take a non-leadership role or figure out your life, figure out what you want out of this business and why you're doing this. Because if you're a seasonal leader, you're not in this for the right reasons. So just going to say that. I know everybody on here probably doesn't need to hear that, or you wouldn't be on this call. If you weren't dedicated to your business, you wouldn't be on this call. But yeah, it's a punch in the gut. And a lot of people need to hear it because it's not okay. It's not okay to be a seasonal leader. We don't do that. We don't show up 4 months out of the year to get a good paycheck. We don't show up to get a paycheck. That's not why we're here. We're here to serve our teams. We're here to help our teams. We're here to help them feed their families, that's what we're here for. And if we're only showing up 2 months out of the year to do that, you're not in this for the right reason. So again, you can take a non-leadership role. You don't have to be a leader. If you're not willing to show up every single month of the year for the rest of your life, then take a non-leadership role, because you need to be a lifer leader. If you're in this group, you need to be a lifer leader. We get paid when we serve others, when we take care of others. That's when the good paychecks come, not when we're making it all about me, and I need to make this much money and this and that. It's all about everyone else. It's never about you. You will be blessed when you serve other people. So anyway, that was just like a little tangent that I feel like somebody might have needed to hear. Your team will follow suit with that. If you're showing up 2 months out of the year, guess what your team's going to do? They're going to show up 2 months out of the year, and then you're going to lose all your team because they're going to all go inactive after 12 months, which is an insane active requirement. If you ask me, I think 12 months is absolutely crazy, but here we are. Maybe it'll be changed one day again. That's a whole nother tangent I could go into with the leadership requirements. And anyway, we're not even going to talk about that. So what goals are you setting for yourself? Are you dreaming big? Are you even setting goals? And when you set these goals, are you making a plan to reach these goals? These are the things you have to do as a leader and a business owner if you want your team to do the same. If you're not setting goals, if you're not dreaming big, if you're not reaching big goals to show your team what's possible, you're not going to get any leaders, dreamers, goal setters. It's going to be very few and far between. And if you do get one, it's probably going to be something where you lucked up and you got a really hard worker. So yes, Dixie, yes. And Dixie said life happens, but you should at least train monthly. I try to do a live at least one time a week. Bless your soul for one time a week. And that's something that as a leader, lead star, superstar, sometimes even as a director, probably still, you can do a live one time a week. You can manage that. But when it starts to be too much, or your personal business starts to take a back seat, make sure you stay aware of that. Like for me, I used to, a few years back, 5 years back, when I was still a director, I could still, I would do a Wax Boss Wednesday training every Wednesday night. And that's back also when I worked nights. I don't do that anymore. But I would do a Wax Boss Wednesday training every night after my baby was in bed. My husband was on the road. Like he was a truck driver. He was working nights. He was on the road, like all the things. So he wasn't there anyway. So I was like, well, I'll just work at night. But not anymore. But do what works for you as far as training goes. Do not feel like you have to do a weekly training for your team. You don't have to. Just show up for them at least once a month. Because if you don't have the time, listen, if you're a leader, the majority of your paycheck comes from your team. And if you can't show up for them 1 hour out of the whole month, you need to like rethink your priorities, because you need to be doing that. And if it goes back to you're not confident enough in yourself, or you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to believe in yourself until you do the thing. So do the training, no matter how terrified you are. That's another thing. That is leading by example. If you're not willing to go live, your team's not going to be willing to go live. If you're not willing to get on a training for them and train them, they're not going to see you as a leader. And they're not going to be willing to get out of their own comfort zones if you're not willing to get out of your comfort zones. As leaders, we have to do very scary things. Leadership is not easy. Leadership is very scary. It is literally doing scary things every single day. It is learning how to do coaching calls when you don't have a clue how to be a coach. It is just getting on the phone with somebody with no freaking clue what you're doing. I wish I would have recorded my first coaching call. It's doing scary things and expecting your team to follow suit with that. So if you're not getting out of your comfort zone, your team's not going to get out of their comfort zone. If you get an email from home office, some of you are going to. If you get an email from home office to be a presenter at SFR and you don't say yes, I will find you. You better say yes. If it scares you to death, you better say yes. And it's going to scare any of you. It still scares me. I've presented multiple times and it still scares me to say yes to those emails, because I'm like, my rule of thumb is if I have something in front of me, like if somebody's asking me to do something or I have something in front of me that is terrifying, I'm going to step into that because I know growth is right on the other side of that. So, and I know that I can't expect my team to get out of their comfort zone if I'm not leading by example and getting out of my own. You're never going to grow if you stay in your comfort zone. So if you don't grow, guess who else doesn't grow? Your team does not grow. So show your team that you're working, do the things behind the scenes that nobody sees, but show them what you're doing. Show them screenshots of your conversations, share your Amy templates, share the behind the scenes of how you're doing your samples, show them all the things, show them how you're doing parties. Like when I would do Facebook Live parties, I would record them, I would share them with y'all, and I would post them to YouTube. They're still there. A literal presentation. I recorded the Facebook Live party and put it on there. You have to show your team what you're doing, but you also have to show them how to do it. You can't just show them what you're doing and expect them to know, okay, well, she did this on Canva and she did this, she got this from Vistaprint, and I need to go do this and that. You have to tell them these things. So yes, if your team doesn't grow, you don't grow. I mean, if you don't grow, your team doesn't grow. Exactly. If your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. And the thing is too, you're gonna achieve things that are on your dream board as you get higher and higher in this company. And when you get to superstar director and you start making $10,000, $15,000 paychecks, you got to keep dreaming bigger and bigger, honey, because if you've reached, I've reached the goal of buying my husband his dream truck. The poor man would have never, he made sure that I had the new vehicles, and he would have never gone and bought himself a new truck had I not bought it for him. So I reached that goal of buying him a new truck. We've reached, that's just the first thing that comes to mind, but I paid off all my credit card debt. Like I've reached all those goals. So if I wasn't continuing to dream bigger and bigger, now we're going to be buying a house. Like that has been something that has been haunting us ever since the first house we owned and then had to file bankruptcy and all that. So we've had to rent for a lot of years. We're finally to the point where we're going to buy a house. But it's not our dream home. So that's going to stay on my dream board. The dream home, the dream pool, my dream car, a beach house, like all these things, we have to continue to dream bigger and bigger. So allow yourself to dream big. You have to. And if you don't dream big, guess who else won't dream big? Your team. So, where is your mindset? We talk about mindset all the time. You can't pour into or believe in others without pouring into and believing in yourself first. And belief in yourself is going to come from repetition. Confidence in yourself is going to come from repetition. They always say, whoever they is, people always say, I've heard it my entire life. What was I going to say? What is it that I've heard my entire life? I literally just forgot. My brain just stopped working. Oh my gosh. Confidence. I was talking about confidence. Practice makes perfect. Was that what I was going to say? Maybe that's what I was going to say. Practice makes perfect. But seriously, the more repetition you do with something, you do something that terrifies you. So say, for example, the first live I ever did, I was terrified. I thought I was ugly. I had acne. I hated the way I sounded. This and that, was picking apart everything about myself. Hated my nose. I went live. I pressed the live button because it scared the crap out of me. Made me want to throw up. And I really wish I would have recorded that first live too, because I would love to see that. But I did that, and I continued to do that. And I continued to do Facebook Live parties, and I continued to go live and unbox things until I was confident with pressing that live button, and I could just get on there with no makeup, like could care less, roll out of bed and get on Facebook Live if I want to. You have to practice things until you're comfortable. You have to do scary things until they become not scary anymore. And some of them will still be scary. I still can't stand to talk to somebody in public. I'm not a social person. I'm so awkward. I am only social on social media. I'm an introverted as they come. Like when we do events and stuff and I have to socialize with y'all, I love y'all so much. But by the end of these events, I'm just like, let me sleep for a whole week. It is exhausting, but I have had to step into that as a leader. Like when I was in college, I would want to absolutely throw up when I had to do like a little speech or something in front of my classroom, just my class, like 30 people. And now here I am talking in front of the whole company at events, or I'm doing YouTube videos for literally the whole world to see. I've got 2,000 subscribers almost, and the whole world can watch any of my videos. Had I not been willing to step into that fear and do that scary thing of pressing that live button, there would be so many people in this world missing out on the value I've had to add, the value I've had to give to people, the lives I have changed through videos that I feel like that's going to help nobody, but people tell me every day how much I'm helping them. So if that's you, if you're scared to do something, do it, because I'm telling you, the more scary it is, the more of an impact it's going to have when you step into that. The more you do it, it's going to get so much more comfortable. It's going to make you confident. If you're not confident, you're going to be confident when you practice that, when you have that repetition over and over, whatever that thing is. You need belief in yourself. Like I said, you have to believe in yourself before you can believe in others. And that's another thing. Like if you're a leader and you don't believe in yourself, how can you believe in other people or instill belief in them? You can't. You cannot do that. Just like you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not pouring in yourself and taking care of yourself to where you feel like your best self, then you cannot pour into other people or teach them how to run a business or teach them how to take care of their mental health if you're not taking care of yours. So expect others to believe in you if you don't. Yeah. I mean, everything starts with belief, everything. And I mean, I feel like that's everybody's biggest struggle. And it was even my biggest struggle. And I was blessed to have like a really good support system growing up. I didn't have someone in my ear saying, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. I had great supportive family. They all, I was great at the sports that I did. I gave 1000% to everything I did. I was great at cheerleading. I was great at gymnastics. Like I tried to be the best on the team. And I had a very good support system that supported that and encouraged that and helped me to believe in myself. And I never had to deal with like negativity of you're not good enough, you're not doing this good enough, and that kind of thing that I know a lot of people have to deal with. Now, I did deal with that in a relationship, and it was a very toxic relationship. And that was a hurdle I had to get through. When I started this business, I didn't quite have the belief there, and I felt like I was not deserving of success in this business. I wasn't deserving of making, $1 million a year. Like, who am I to think that I deserve to make that kind of money? Who am I to think that I could ever make $100,000 a month or be worthy of that? Like, that was my belief at first. And thank God for a supportive husband who kicked that to the curb for me really quick. But a lot of you struggle with that. And belief is, like I said, I feel like belief is the biggest struggle. And that's the root of leadership and running a business and being a successful consultant and leader. Belief is the root of it. And so if you don't have belief, you can't have anything else. Like if you can just believe in yourself and know that you have value to give to the world, and your product is life-changing and your business is life-changing, the rest is going to fall into place. So believe and trust in your team. This is another thing. You have to be willing to look at the positive side of things. First of all, when you're looking at your team, you're looking at your numbers for the month, or you're looking at your numbers from last month, you're looking at this and that. Don't look at the will cancel report and the who's sitting at 0. That is one of the most toxic things you can do for yourself and for your team. If you are fixating on the negatives, fixating on who's sitting at 0, fixating on how many people you have that are going to fall off after this month, fixating on who's not working, who's not doing this and that, stop doing that. I do not look at a will cancel report at all. I don't look at zeros. I don't look at that. I have trained my brain to like just skip over that. Like I don't even look at it. I look at the people who are working, who are killing it, who are producing. Like I look at the positives. Who's working? I'm going to focus hard on them. Who recruited this month? I'm going to praise them. I'm going to recognize them. Who got leadership PRV this month? Who got paid at title this month? Y'all, if I looked at the amount of people in my group that was not paid at title every month, and I sat there and was like, if all of them were just paid at title, I'd make this much more money or whatever. These are the things you cannot do. You have to focus on the positives. Because if you're constantly looking at the zeros or the will cancels or all the negative things on your team, it's going to discourage you as a leader, because for one, you're going to feel like it's your fault, and none of that is your fault. If you are leading by example and showing the way and walking the walk, it's not your fault. Their actions are on them. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can give them the tools. You can show them the way. If they want to take that and utilize it, they will. If they don't, they won't. This business is not for everyone. And that is why 10% of your team does all of the work. 10% of your team does 90% of the work. 20% of your team does 80% of the work, whatever. Some people say 20-80. I think it's more like 10-90, but focus on the positives. And also, when you're looking at that puts you in a scarcity mindset. That puts you in well, I need to tell my team they're not working enough this month. Well, I need to tell my team, well, I'm this close to director numbers and they need to work. Like, this gets you in the wrong mindset, scarcity mindset. Instead, trust in your team. Pick out the ones who are working, reach out to them and work with them to help them reach their goals. And guess what's going to happen when you help them reach their goals? You're going to be paid at director title. And they're going to love you for that. And they're going to be willing to pour value into you because you have poured value into them. Value in, value out. If you're not making them feel loved and special and valued, if you're not helping them reach their goals, you can never expect them to help you reach your goals. You can never expect them to step in and say, my director is really close to director numbers. I need to work to help her out. You can never expect them to do that for you if you're doing nothing for them. If you have never reached out to them and helped them, gave them a tip or helped answer their questions, or if you're not there for them when they're, close to a promotion and you're looking through your reports and you see, oh, this person's close to lead, and you're messaging them saying, hey, I see you're close to lead. What can I do to help you out? Like, I'm so excited for you. I'm cheering you on. That is what a leader does. And if you're doing those things and pouring into your team in that way, they're going to be so willing to pour into you at those times when you're close to director. So believe in your team, trust your team, trust them, Trust your team members, trust your leaders to step up and help you out. Like I said, it's not a you show. You can't do all the things. I'm a control freak by nature. A lot of you are too. I think a lot of leaders are. Or maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better. I don't know, but I do think a lot of leaders are control freaks. I know my husband is, and he's a bomb leader too. But we cannot do it all. And if you do try to do it all, you're going to wear yourself out and you're going to start to absolutely despise being a leader. You're going to despise your business. You're going to want to quit. You're going to be like, why am I even doing this? Trust people to step in and help you out. Trust your team members to so that you can delegate trainings to them. Trust your people. When you're trusting your people, you're going to empower your people. You're going to help instill belief in them. And they're going to step into that leadership role when you trust them. So, where else? What else did I have? Make sure you're serving them. Make sure everything is about them, not you. This goes for your customers as well. It's always about the customer. You're always looking for ways to serve your customers. What is your energy like? What is your energy like? What is your vibe that you're giving off? Are you a negative Nancy all the time? What does your social media look like? What are you sharing with your team? Are you miserable or are you excited about your business? Are you working so much that you're starting to resent your business, or are you setting healthy boundaries? These are all things that you have to do to lead by example, to set an example for your team so that they know how they should work and they want your job. They need to want your job. So what are you putting out into the universe? What's your energy like? What's your vibe like? Like, what are you putting out there? Because whatever you're putting out there is what you're going to get back. If you're putting negativity out there, if you're putting out yuck, you're going to get yuck in return. So you're gonna attract what you put out, and you're gonna attract what you're looking for. If you're always looking for the negative in everything, you're gonna attract all the negative things and all the negative people. You're gonna attract negative Nancy's on your team instead of positive people. Okay, so boundaries, already talked about this. How are you presenting this? Some of my notes, I'm just like, what was I don't even know what was going through my brain when I wrote that part. Oh, okay. I already talked about that. I just worded it weird on my notes. I'm like, what does that mean? Let's see. Priorities. So where do your priorities fall? Are you putting your customers first? If you're not, your customers are the foundation of your business. If you have no customers, you have no team. If you have no customers, you have no hosts, you have no PRV. If you have no customers, you have no Cincy Club subscribers, you have no residual income from Cincy Club. You have no team, you have no residual income for the rest of your life. Customers are the foundation. Your customers have to come first. Sometimes you have to train your brain or your eyeballs to make sure you put your customers first. I say eyeballs because, like, for me, I had to start a color coding system. So like in my planner, I would write all customer tasks in one color. I would write all team tasks in one color so that I could visually see, because I'm like a photographic memory type person. So like I need to see a visual when I look at my calendar overview. I need to see like how much team stuff do I have going on? How much personal business stuff do I have going on? PRV and customers have to come first. Without PRV, you have no business, period. You can't even get your leadership bonuses without PRV. Customers always come first. And whatever you're demonstrating to your customers is what they are going to do as team members when they join as team members. So you have to think about that. How are you treating your customers? And are you putting them first? And how are you taking care of them and pouring value into them so that they know what to do when they become team members? Customers have to come first. I know you love your team. Y'all know how much I love y'all, but your PRV and your customers and your networking has to come first. You have to grow your customer base and take care of your customer base before you can take care of your team. And that goes back to leading by example. If you're not taking care of your customers first, if you're not networking and you're not partying and you're not having Cincy Club conversations, your team isn't going to do it either. So customers always first. PRV always first. That's why the 3 legs of the stool goes in the order it does. PRV, then recruiting, then coaching. My allergies. Oh my gosh. Is anybody's allergies like insane right now? I don't know if it's the pollen. I don't know. Ever since we moved to this new house, it's like constant. I've never had allergy issues. Constant. Me, my kid, and my husband are just jacked up here. And we literally moved like 5 minutes down the road. I don't know what's different over here. I don't know if it's because we've got a field right behind us. I don't know. But oh, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. So how are your systems? Are you maintaining a business that runs like a well-oiled machine, or are you like a chicken with your head cut off? Chicken with your head cut off, well-oiled machine. Which one are you? Y'all better not be chickens with your head cut off, because I done gave y'all systems like 5 years ago. We got air purifiers all throughout this dang house, and I'm still messed up. Maybe it would be worse if we didn't have them, so maybe they are working. But yeah. Some days you're the chicken, some days you're the old machine. Okay, I can deal with that. So what systems do you have that you're using that you can provide to your team and provide to your leaders that will help them have more success than you? You want to teach your team how to be more successful than you are, how to get there faster than you did. How I got to a director very quickly. I got to director in a year, but I've had people come in, lots of you have promoted to director in 3, 4, 6 months. That is what I want. I want people coming in, promoting to director faster than I did, promoting to star director faster than I did, promoting to superstar director faster than I did. I want people coming in making $10,000 paychecks in 2 years instead of what took me 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I want all of you to have more success than me and faster success than me. How are you doing that for your team? What tools are you providing them with? How are you helping them so that they can do everything better than you did? How can you help them work more simply and efficiently? Maybe you're providing a power hour for them to use. Maybe you're providing action plans for them to use. Whatever it is to simplify their business. Maybe you're pushing Amy for them so that you can tell them, hey, you can track this, and this all in one place in Amy. Are you, maybe you're encouraging them to get a notebook, a plain old notebook, and write down everything in there, like potential hosts, potential Cincy Clubbers, whatever, potential recruits. Here's my goals for the month. Like, tell them to use a notebook and write it all in one notebook. Simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple for your team so that they're not overwhelmed, so that they feel like they can do this and they can step into this business. They can step into leadership. Help them to see that it is simple. And you're only going to do that by running your business simply and having good systems in place and having multiple different systems to provide to people, because Amy doesn't work for everyone. Paper and pen doesn't work for everyone. Digital doesn't work for everyone. Everyone's so different that you've got to be willing to have different systems to present to different people. That's why I love the systems in our Google Drive so much, because yes, I use them digitally, but they can be printed off and used on paper. So they can be used either way. Or if somebody wants to take one of them and just write it down on their own sheet of paper and use that, that's fine too. You've got to be willing to have multiple avenues to present to people. Let's see. I think that's about it. I think that's about all I had. I had on here, you must treat this business like treat this like a job, because a lot of times, we say treat this like a business and you'll get paid like a business owner. But really, I can't remember where I heard this, but I was like, yes, really, it must be treated like a job, because if we don't show up, we don't get paid. Yes, you're working toward residual income. As leaders, we are blessed to be able to go to sleep, wake up, and we've made money. Go on vacation, come home from vacation, and we've made money. This is what you're building as a leader. You're building residual income. You're building income that you don't have to work for, which is a beautiful thing. But that doesn't mean you stop working. It means you work in different ways. It means you work less, but smarter. So, the ways you work is going to change. Like as a superstar director, you're not going to be doing 8 to 10 parties a month, because your PRV can come from other places. Your networking can come from other places. But when you're building, you've got to be willing to do the 8 to 10 parties a month to get to where you don't have to do the 8 to 10 parties a month anymore. You're going to be able to work differently. You're going to be able, you as a leader can go on vacation, completely unplug while you're on vacation. Ask some of your team members to run your team page while you're gone. Answer questions, all the things, completely unplug, and you made money while you were on vacation because your team was still working. That is what you're creating as a leader. It doesn't get any better than that. And you still get to do something you love. Isn't that awesome? So yes, you're creating that, but you've got to treat this like a job, because you've got to know if you don't show up 5 days a week or whatever your business work days are, if you don't show up every day that you're supposed to work, you don't get paid. Scentsy doesn't sell itself. You have to sell it. Like, you have to present it to the world. People don't just, come to you and magically know that you sell Scentsy, and you have to show up because they're buying from you. So they can go buy from any consultant in the world. Scentsy's there. Scentsy's always going to be there. But you've got to figure out, why are they buying from you? They're not going to buy from you if you're not showing up. If you're not showing up on social media, they're going to be like, oh, well, she must not be selling Scentsy anymore. If somebody came to me and asked me if I was still selling Scentsy, I would be very concerned. I'd be like, are you just like living under a rock? Or, because y'all know I show up every single day. I unplug on the weekends. Yes, I may not post anything Scentsy on the weekends, and that's fine, because I'm unplugging. I'm with my family. But usually I still do. Usually I'm like cleaning up the counters. So I'm sharing that in my stories, because it's like, we have the easiest job in the world. We just share what we're already using. But 2 things that have formed me are 1, 8 to 10 parties a month, and 2 new recruits. Exactly. 2,000 PRV, 2 new recruits, 2 new club subscribers every single month. You will build a 6-figure business like that. You will. 2,000 PRV, 2 new recruits a month, 2 new Scentsy Club subscribers a month. You will build a 6-figure business like that. Go Dixie. Yes. Listen to your leaders. We don't do this because we have all the time in the world. We don't do this. We do this because we love y'all. And we spend a lot of energy putting these trainings out there for y'all. Like she said, listen to your leaders. Listen to them. Do what they do. Put your own spin on it, but do what they do. Listen to other leaders. Listen to lots of leaders. Don't just listen to me. Listen, some leaders you'll connect with better, and some leaders have better ideas than other leaders because it may work for you better. You may not be a social media guru like I am, but if you want to become one, then listen to me and replicate what I do on social media. But then you may find another leader that's not a social media guru and they do other things that work for them that you want to follow. So don't try to be like anybody else, but listen to your leaders, take the nuggets that apply to you and apply them to your business. Listen to your poor leaders. Your leaders love you and they pour so much of their time and energy into you. So listen to them. Do you have any questions, or does anybody want to add anything on this topic? Shout out to Dixie because she created her own YouTube channel. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a plug in for her because this is going to go on my YouTube channel. Her name is Dixie Denson. Go subscribe to her channel because she's going to start uploading her trainings. And she is fire. She's amazing. Yeah, if you're a leader, you need to create a YouTube channel. If you are doing live videos or Zooms at all, if you're training your team, if you're unboxing things for your customers, especially if you have a VIP group that is private, that needs to be made public. People need to see those things. Because if you're unboxing something in your private VIP group, I don't have a VIP group anymore. And I'm not saying you don't have to have one, but I quit mine a long time ago. I don't want things to be private. I need things to be public. I need things to be on multiple platforms. I need things to be on Instagram. I need things to be on Facebook and YouTube. So when I'm unboxing something on Facebook Live, this is a nugget. If I'm unboxing something on Facebook Live, I'm going to save that and I'm going to upload it to Instagram, or I'm going to go live on 2 devices at one time, one on Instagram, one on Facebook. And then I'm going to also upload that to YouTube. I'm monetized on YouTube now, so I make money for that. So that's 3 platforms that I'm on I did the work for one thing and I put it on 3 different platforms. So that gets me out publicly to new people. I literally just had somebody comment on a YouTube video this morning and said, hey, I really want to join Cincy. How do I do it? So I'm on 3 different platforms just from doing the work of one platform. If you do any videos at all, which all of you should be doing, create a YouTube channel. It is not hard. Just ask Dixie. It's not hard. YouTube, how to create a YouTube channel. Save your videos, put them on YouTube so that they can be, that's a whole nother world of people that you can access through that. Say you're on TikTok. I don't do TikTok, but if you're doing Instagram Reels, you need to be on TikTok so that you can upload your Instagram Reels to TikTok. Or if you're on TikTok doing videos, you need to be on Instagram so that you can upload your TikToks to Instagram Reels. And now YouTube has shorts. So it's basically like Reels. You can put your Reels as shorts on YouTube. So this is just like a little leadership nugget for working smarter, not harder. But if you have any videos, like I said, if you're doing any videos, create a YouTube channel so that you can put them there to, number one, access a whole nother audience of people, a whole new network of people, but also so that you can work smarter as a leader. If you are answering the same questions over and over from new team members, you need a video on that. You need at least to use my new consultant training playlist. But if you're a director above, you need to create your own if that's a system you're using. YouTube has been a lifesaver for me, uploading all my trainings to it, because if somebody messages me asking about, hey, how do I do a bag party? Guess what I do? I go to my YouTube channel, I copy my bag party training video, the link to it, and I paste it to them. Instead of just training all the people on bag parties over and over and over and over and over, wasting all my time, you've got to work smarter as a leader. Save yourself the headache, save yourself the time. You could be using that time to spend with your family. You could be using that time to get new customers. You could be using that time to make money instead of literally wasting your time and breath training on the same thing over and over and over and over. I can send people videos from 5 years ago if I want to. So make a YouTube channel. I'm telling you, it's the best thing ever. You don't have to do, listen, I'm monetized on YouTube and I do no work. I literally will save this Zoom and I will post it to YouTube. It takes like 2 minutes. I create a thumbnail for my video, which is on Canva, which is already made. I just switch out the picture and the words. Takes another 2 minutes, slap that on there, boom, I get paid. So it's really no extra work. If you're consistent, eventually you'll get paid from YouTube for it. And it's just a way to work smarter and save yourself so much time and energy. Okay, so what are you struggling with, Courtney? She said the thing she's struggling with the most is doing all the extra director things, but there's really not that many extra director things. So what extra director things are you referring to? Because it might be things you can delegate or delete or change. Trainings, one-on-one calls, anything that requires stuff where I have to speak publicly without kids screaming in the background. So here's my advice on that. Do your trainings when they're asleep, when there's quiet, when whatever. One-on-one calls, they do not have to be sit down scheduled during the day. Just voice message with people when the time is right for you. And if you have kids climbing on you, screaming in the background of your voice messages, it doesn't matter. I've been there. In 2020, I was doing coaching calls and my kid would literally be running across my desk as I was doing my call and I was about to lose my ever-loving mind. When I could have simplified that, I could have just voice messaged them instead of trying to schedule a sit down for 30 minutes call, knowing I had a toddler at home that was acting an absolute fool and was stuck in the house. I could have made that easier on myself by just casually doing voice messages when the time was right. You're still getting it done. You're still getting the coaching call, one-on-one connection call, whatever you want to call it. You're still getting it done, but you're doing what works for you. You don't want to start resenting things in your business. If anything starts to not bring you joy anymore, or if you start to resent it or it's stressing you out, you've got to change it. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Just make it more casual, make it more simple, make it work for you better. My kid hates sleep too. He doesn't, literally the only reason he naps is because he goes to school. He will not nap at home. He dropped his naps when he was like 3, I think. And that was the point 2. Because I was like, you gotta go to school. We can't be doing this no more. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I love my kid, but I'm not a stay-at-home mom. And he, oh my gosh, bedtime used to be the worst. It's finally easy. He's almost 5 and bedtime is finally easy. It took that long, but I know some kids it's never easy. Shout out to all the parents out there. Okay, if y'all don't have any more questions or anything else to add, then that's all I got for you. And I'm going to go upload this to YouTube. Thank you all for being on here live. Again, I'm sorry that I forgot to post the link for this because I rescheduled it so long ago. And then I've had other Zooms going on and I've been a guest speaker on groups. And it's just like, I lost track and I forgot to post the reminder. But I'm proud of you all for being on live. Those of you who could, if you're on the replay, make sure you let me know you're on the replay. You're very welcome. I'm always happy to pour into y'all. I just want y'all to be successful. I love y'all so much. And I want to teach y'all to do everything I've done, but quicker, faster, easier, more efficient, simpler, with more joy. So I love y'all. I will talk to y'all again Let's see. So we leave for Disney World this weekend for a special Superstar Director Summit type trip. It is an exclusive training that we get to go attend with Disney Institute. And anytime we go, I have chill bumps right now. I'm so excited. I get to see the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival finally with the Cincy set up. I will have tons of pictures. Y'all know I'm a picture freak. I will be taking lots of pictures. I will have all the things in my stories. And we leave on Sunday, and we will be there until Wednesday. And they're going to be doing so many special things for us, like they always do. If you've never been on a Disney trip with Cincy, they spoil the crap out of us and they make it so exclusive and so fun. It's experiences you can't get outside of going with Cincy, but this is a Superstar Director specific thing, and it's going to be incredible. And I cannot wait to share everything I learned, everything we get to experience. My husband's going with me. It's going to be so awesome. So I will talk to y'all, I'm sure, right after we get back, soon after we get back. And then next month's leadership call is going to be May 12th. And we're going to have Brittany Bartow sharing her expertise, everything that she learned at Director Boot Camp that you can implement into your business as a leader. She's going to be sharing all that with you. So I know that that's going to be so good. But I will talk to y'all soon. I love y'all, and y'all have a great rest of your Tuesday.